Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Space Couch today, we're joined by the Grand Admiral because I'm going to be reviewing this Thrawn Ascendancy Greater Good, the sequel to Chaos Rising, and the following part is called Lesser Evil. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. I always loved the Thrawn books. He's such a great character. So basically, in this, it follows a couple of different tracks, and there's a couple of very interesting little things it mentions as well. But basically, the Grisk are now trying to get the Chiss to fall apart as they've manipulated other species. So there's this race called the Agbui, who are all telepathic, and it's like they're very innocent with it. So they say, "Oh, let me just stroke your hair back," and it's with touch that it can read your mind and emotions and manipulate you. So they're basically working their way through the Chiss levels of power to find who they can manipulate to turn against the rest of them. And the means they're doing by this is they portray themselves as just wandering cultural nomads, the Agbui, and said, "Oh, let us settle and grow a few little crops, and we'll give you this jewellery. It's not worth anything, but we hear it's very artistic and beautiful." But this jewellery is basically made of a very high value metal that's used in starship or warship hulls. You would not waste it on jewellery. If these people are just wasting it on jewellery, then they must have loads more of it, and they don't realise the value of it, which is what some of the Chiss think. So that the Agbui are basically manipulating them, saying, "Oh, we've got an entire mine of this stuff. Is it worthwhile? We just use it to make jewellery," knowing full well the real value of it. So basically, they approach a Chiss family that wants to become more powerful. You know, there's the 9 ruling families, then there's the 40 great houses, the ones who used to be part of the 9. So they approach one of those to tell them, "Oh yes, we'd be more than happy for you to take possession of this mine. It's not really worth anything to us," and everything. And because they realise the value of this metal, they're totally hook, line and sinker for it. Obviously, of course, the Agbui have been doing this to a couple of the other families as well to manipulate them all at the same time. And basically, the other line of the story is on Thrawn himself and what he's up to, going through the various parts of the chaos, trying to figure out what is going on with this species that was hit and run attacks, the ones who are behind Yiv the Benevolent. And they come across this planet that's been completely devastated, and they've rescued a handful of survivors. But the leader of those says, "Oh no, we all must die. Everyone is dead, so the rest of us must die as well." I said, "No, your planet still survives." I said, "No, but we must all die." It's one of those sorts of situations. Thrawn doesn't have time with it, puts it in cryogenic storage, so she won't make any rash decisions before he can find out what has been going on. So, as I said, the Agbui have got a fake mine on a planet where they're trying to entice several Chiss families towards. But the jewellery does not come from there. It comes from this planet that's been devastated, and this people, there's only a handful of survivors. So they've ransacked the planet, taken control of the mine that is actually on that planet, and then just using it to manipulate others. And Thrawn is able to work this out when he's actually able to see a piece of this jewellery that the Agbui have been giving out, realising that culturally it matches the people that he has got on his ship, the ones from this planet which he calls Sunrise, because the people won't even tell him his actual name. They're that secretive. So he managed to figure that out and manages to come up with a plan to stop the Chiss from falling apart. And it's a close run thing. It's like Chiss internal family politics is so frustrating. I don't mean that the plot is frustrating. It's very well written, but it's like, oh, what are you lot playing at? Can you not see the greater good? But I mean, I suppose it's different for everyone what that actually means, of course. So it's absolutely fascinating seeing Thrawn work all these things out, of course, managing to stave off this near civil war that is basically what happened to every single other civilization that the Agbui via the Grisk have come into contact with. So their plan is basically spoiled, but Jixtus the Grisk tells one of his followers that, oh, well, we shall make sure that we actually factor in Thrawn to our plans next time, which is very interesting. But about Chiss, he's always completely covered in a cloak, a veil, gloves, everything. You do not know his actual form. But one of the guys that he has as one of his like minions, their species has a legend of basically what we would consider demons, that sort of form. And I do wonder if that's what the Grisk form actually is, because you wouldn't bother mentioning it otherwise if you're not going to play that card later. But there is another thing that's very fascinating. That's just a throwaway comment in a conversation about when the Chiss used to venture into what they call lesser space, which is the lesser of the galaxy, taking sides and or taking part in a great war between two sides thousands of years in the past. Which obviously that must be the Sith and Jedi wars, or possibly the ones against Mandalore. But I'm thinking it's the Jedi and Sith wars, and the Chiss were involved in it, which is a fascinating concept. But at the very end, there's a new head of patriarch of the Mitt family, which is Thrawn's family. And the guy says, like the Grand Vizier of the family, who served all of the patriarchs for however long, he tells the new patriarch, tomorrow I will tell you the true secret history of the Mitt and of an ancient, terrible alien weapon called the Star Flash. And that is where the book ends. That's the last sentence in it. So I wonder if the Star Flash is perhaps what turned Sicilla into a frozen wasteland, as something was done to the sun to wreck the planet's environment. So fascinating stuff, but really good as always. I'm really enjoying reading this and the High Republic because it's different Star Wars. You know, it doesn't have all the usual main characters in it, and so this is really, really good. I love how the Chiss Ascendancy and all the family politics is shown, and how the Agbui are manipulating people was really well done. But yes, definitely recommend Thrawn Ascendancy, Greater Good, and can't wait for Lesser Evil. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for a topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.